Mr. Irteza Rashid is a research professional with experience in sustainability climate change. He has worked with international initiatives in academic institutions, contributing to data analysis, policy research, and reporting. His interests include sustainable development, gender equity, climate resilience in NGOs, and research settings.
Greetings everyone, I'm Irteza Rashid and I'm going to talk about discoveries, education, employment and economics today. So the historical context, job, retire, and first you are a graduate, then you go to job and then you retire. This was the simple line. And this started in Germany and it was crystallized in 1945 and 1965 in America. And the GI Bill in 1944 made the college students and give them gateway for the middle class to have a career and then retire. And in 1935, it was institutionalized that retirement age is 65. And this was a standard life. Now, I think this rule is changing and the new rule is keep learning forever, change yourself many times as possible, learn new skills, improve your analytical ability, and try to make decisions. So, first of all, we need to understand what is the importance of this topic. For individual, it is absolutely for survival because now the career is changing, so you need to understand what is happening. Also, if you don't understand, you will get into economic insecurity. So to get yourself secured in a situation like this, you need to change. Also, understanding the key of agency is very important. You must understand what you should learn, why you should learn, what should be your meaningful career. And for business and employers, this is about talent and innovation. Companies are changing. They are hiring people who are more competitive and who can give them more advantage. You cannot be shortage in talents. And innovation is also changing the system. It's a hybrid system now. Also, if you are an employee, you want an organization where you can find growth and you can learn more. For educational institutions, we are seeing that universities need to change. They need to challenge themselves and they need to certify students for the current situation. Now the families ask question that the cost I am giving to the institution, will I be able to fulfill that? Is my degree demanding? What I have learned, is that demanding? That is the question everyone is asking now. So the shifts that education, employment, economy is facing is that we are engaged in education so that we can get financially benefit. And for that, day by day, simple education-based thinking, information thinking is changing. We are learning prediction models, data-driven analytical skills, and skills that can help us to make new things and new policies. Now, this is the overall change because when I was a student of environmental science, I first studied what is environmental science, what is climate change. Without this basic knowledge, you cannot actually survive. But what is the problem? Like I work as a research assistant at Thrive. When we visit COP, the Conference of Parties, we have to show the data and that has to be analyzed in a software. Suppose Microsoft Excel, Power BI, or software R, also SQL, and many other softwares are coming in the arena. So, if you want to achieve something like climate finance or climate justice, data analysis and showing them, reporting them is also important. I think in educational institution, there is a gap that in educational institution are giving students the information, how to write reports, how to actually analyze them and show them in front of the world is also important. So such jobs as research assistant or a garments job company, you need to know those skills. in reality, what I have seen is that job seekers are coping up with the developed countries like UK and USA. So they are taking online courses. I also participate in online courses, which is co-founded by European Union. And also I am learning in courses where I will give exam under USA software in ISO 45001 2018. So e-learning is very helpful. For data collection in our country, we use FORNAID. And for example, conducting research for deep resource, sea resource extraction, we need the help of the foreigners. So our education is also transforming from knowledge-based to skill-based, and we are trying to build our student so that they can give us recommendations. Now let's talk about the discoveries. In education, the discoveries are AI. Learning content and giving feedback to students are easily available by AI. And personalization in AI improves students' engagement and their learning outcomes. Also, it lowers the teacher's administrative workload. And automation of assessment, feedback, and content actually helps and allows educators to focus more on pedagogy and learning and learner support. Now we can see AR, VR, and XR based impressive learning environments. And this also helps in STEM, engineering, and applied science education. Virtual labs and stimulators provide safe and repeatable and cost-effective hands-on learning for the learners. AI literacy is very important and it requires technical skill and ethical awareness. Now, discoveries in the employment sector, AI is your friend now. Don't think that AI is against you. Without AI, you cannot survive in the job market right now. And yes, some entry-level jobs will be vanquished by AI, but some more other jobs will also come in the market. In broad projections, Global Economic Forum predicts that by 2030, ecological change will create millions of new jobs, even as it displaces others, and emphasize need for coordination and upskilling and lifelong learning efforts. Also, World Economic Forum says that there will be hybrid workforce and shaping the capability, and it will drive the labor market in a new variety of work and opportunities. In the economics, there is also change. AI is a measurable factor in the economy. Now, how much production will be done, how much wages will be given, everything is calculated through AI. And inequality is a problem because for inequality, economy gets constrained. Governments increasingly apply behavioral insights, which is called nudges, to taxation savings. So we don't need strong regulations. Now, in USA, the USA government is focusing on AI and digital literacy. They are concentrating more on VR, AR, and AI tutors. They are developing their students as very skilled and creative. Also, their policy is changing the content and curriculum for the future students. Now, for your kind information, VR is virtual reality. Suppose just think that with virtual reality, you're in a museum, you're in a science lab, and you're actually experience everything. In our age, we used to read books, and everything was a bit, what can I say, unclear because we cannot imagine. Now you're in that same situation so that you can easily understand. Also, we have augmented reality where 3D prints are there. So in China, when you buy a building, they portray the building before it is made in the table. So the buyers can understand easily what are they buying. And AI tutors are available 24/7 for your practice and explanation. And you can do math step by step. In math class, this is very difficult to follow the teachers in traditional way, but AI can help you there. In Japan's education, free high school education is there, and tuition fee is free. And digital and online technology is also available at Japan. And teachers support very well the students. So the Japan's focus is equity, digital transformation, future-ready skills, flexible pathways, and strong student and teacher support. For our better understanding of the topics, we will see how USA, Japan, and South Sudan are coping up in this topic. South Sudan, they have conflict, we all know. So the problem is that they are they should increase in primary and pre-primary and secondary levels. Also, in the war situation, so infrastructure needs to get developed. And there are gender inequality, they need more inclusion. The teachers also need more trainings. And for partnership, the government, UNICEF, GPE, and NGOs are trying to help them. And higher education is very in a fragile condition, I think. So the focus is on rebuilding and creating inclusiveness in the education ecosystem because they are in a post-conflict situation. Now we can see the connection between strong economy and how this topic is coping up with the situation. In USA, AI and digital literacy and tech learning and core skills are very much popular and they're focusing on it. And in national and global workforce are also ready. They have high capabilities and you can see that they have strong economy, largest GDP, and also they have financial support and other supports. Now in Asia, Japan have free high school, digital and online learning, AI-based learning, teacher support. But in Japan, there is still some gender discrimination. There are another problem which is most of the population are aging population. So it's impacting the growth. In South Sudan, they need infrastructure development, education improvement, they need teachers training, and there is local community and other communities, they are in conflict. So it's a fragile condition. GDP is very low and they mostly depend on oil and agriculture. So it increases the amount of conflict occurring in that country. So if we see gender gap, so gender gap is a global measure published by the World Economic Forum. And it shows that USA is in mid-high rank with 42nd position. And a lower rank is in Japan, which is 118. And it means that they need more strong education for women. For example, the number of women participating as highest positions in the organization are very low in Japan. It is due to culture, norms, values. These are also hampering this issue. Now, in context of gender, you can see that in USA, women often outperforms men. But in Japan, there are barriers. And in South Sudan, it is very low and they are dropping out. And labor participation in USA is moderate and improving in Japan. But the condition of South Sudan remains very vulnerable. And in economic opportunity, substantial, but there is wage gap in USA. But the wage gap is more large in number and restricted in job types for cultural norms in Japan, and severely limited in conflicted countries like South Sudan. And I also have mentioned gender gap ranking earlier. So gender gap ranking actually tells us that women need to have more schoolings, they need safe conditions and formal protections and legal protections. So higher rank shows more equal opportunities, stronger economic growth. So we can see that how conflict actually creates a problem to get the highest rankings, how conflict actually hampers gender equality. Now, what do we need to do? In education, we need AI literacy. We should be responsible when we are using AI. Lifelong learning is very important. Keep yourself continuously updating, learning new skills, take risk, try to do critical thinking. Ethical learning is important and try to understand graphs, numbers, and charts more than ever. For employment, I think multi skills is important. Try to work with AI, not against it. You can have flexible careers, remote, hybrid, or portfolio work. Cloud computing and other softwares, you must be very friendly and familiar with those applications. Here is a picture, and I think it motivates us all that this 82-year-old man is still working. So focus on lifelong learning, give effort, keep a mindset of working. Age is not a barrier anymore, and motivation over the technologies. Technologies here, more technologies will come. Keep working, keep the spirit. In economics, we need green growth, climate smart economic planning, inclusive economy, digital economy, and social protection. Because AI can also create some inequalities because there is device in access to internet and other issues. So we should overcome them. Finally, my recommendations. We should shift to skill-based education, integrate AI literacy, data-driven problem-solving skills, and try to modify the traditional academic learning system, promote lifelong learning system. Don't get in the barriers of age. Align education with labor markets. See what NGOs are doing. See what your industries are asking you for. Support human AI collaboration. Don't let AI hamper the human life. Let it be a friend of you. And build inclusive and resilient economies. Without inclusiveness, without proper access to internet, access to AI is not possible. And also sustainable economic development cannot occur. So saying this, I would like to conclude my presentation here. Thank you all for listening.